Yo, what is up? It is your boy X here. And before this video gets started, I just want to give out a quick announcement as well as some little details on why I've been so inconsistent with the videos and why things haven't been coming out as often as they used to. Because as you guys can probably tell, when I first started, I was posting very consistently almost every day, and now I seem to be posting almost every week. So the reason for that is actually because it actually hasn't been very quiet around the house. Since COVID's around and we're having schooling at home, there's always a lot of noise in my house. And even right now, like nobody's home, but there's probably going to be some noise from outside. And recently we've been remodeling the house. So there's been a lot of painting, I've been very busy with school and all that, all the usual little excuses, except this is all the school stuff. Like that's honestly irrelevant. I could probably still pump these out, but the thing is that there's been a lot of noise around the house. That's mainly the thing, and I just want to apologize for that. But as soon as I can, guys, probably as soon as we're finished with this, the daily uploads will be consistent. And guys, trust me, I have something special for you guys. Like, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Like this, you guys deserve this. So I'm going to legit give you guys an entire series. It's gonna be a collab that I'm gonna be doing with somebody. I'm not gonna disclose it, but I'm gonna be collabing with somebody, and the first part will obviously be on my part, and the second will be on his. And you guys are gonna get a long full series. So for you loyal fans, you guys know that you're gonna get them. And also, I noticed that my views went down. Like, if you guys could please, something like help that out a little bit, because kind of struggling with the views right now. It makes sense, but without any further ado, let's get into the amazing series of What If Deku had Godspeed. I hope you guys enjoy it, the run, and love it as much as I did, because it really helped me grow. And it was the reason that I'm here today where I'm at. Like, 200 subs may not seem like a lot to you guys, but I'm very grateful for what I have. And I promise to keep making great content that you guys will enjoy. Okay, so in the last part, we had left off with Bakugo getting taken and the beginning of the Bakugo retrieval / All Might versus One for All arc. So after he gets taken, Deku then lets off a giant aura of lightning and gets extremely pissed, seeing as this is one of Deku's closest friends. I mean, he's known him since he was a child, and there was no bullshit between them like in canon, and he wasn't fast enough to save his friend. He has a tear fall down his cheek as he then passes out from exhaustion, since he just pushed himself to his limit and kind of had a little bit of a mental breakdown. After that, he wakes up in the hospital, and the same people in canon come up to Deku, and they all tell him about the plan, with the same stuff happening as Sue being a dumbass and being like, I don't think you should go after them, and Momo telling Deku that she can help, and since Momo likes him in this version, she'll gladly do it, and on the condition that she can come. And this is when Deku will then smile at her and tell her, of course, making Momo blush a little bit. They would meet up at night, and Ida would go along trying to stop Deku, but Deku being like, nah, you did the same shit to me, you have no right. And Ida trying to punch Deku, but Deku just kind of dodging it and being like, Ida, come along with us. I'm not trying to stop you, but you can't stop us. And with everyone being like, true, true, true. This is when Deku would then say, you have no right to stop me. I'm stronger than even All Might. With everyone being like, is he really? And some people being like, yeah, true. They then get the clothes and stuff with Momo and Deku kind of having a little bit of flirty moments, and Deku telling Momo that she kind of look she look a little bad. This is when they then pull up to where they did in the original canon and see all the no moves, and everything goes to canon with on the hero side, and the fight with All Might and One for All starts. And Deku seeing Bakugo, he then activates his Godspeed mode and uses his Thunder Breath and rushes to grab Bakugo and the rest of his classmates. He then takes them off really far away where they went to after the fight and watched All Might on the little big screen. This is when he then rushes back, and after he does it, he sees All Might and looks at him and then like basically teleports right in front of him and says, hey, All Might, you need a hand? With All Might kind of smiling, being like, I got this, young man. With the original fight starting to happen, but once Deku saw All Might getting overwhelmed, he used his Breath of Thunder and activated his Lightning Cloak, and then proceeded to fuck All for One shit up before he even knew what was going on. Deku basically started ragdolling him. He was kind of doing what Rock Lee had done to Gaara in the Chunin exams and kicked him into the air, and this is when he then started kicking him down onto his knee and then blasting him back up with electricity on him. This is when Deku will basically start stepping on air and just start destroying One for All in the air. One for All has no idea what's going on. This is when Deku will basically move so fast that he will make mirages of wait no, is it mirages? It's like after images that do physical damage to All for One, and he then goes onto the ground and charges up a fucking he charges up the lightning dragon that he has and jumps straight into the air, leaving a giant crater in the ground, and then spin kicking One for All onto the ground, leaving a 20 feet crater into the ground on impact, and All for All being One for All for One, my bad guys, it's been a minute, being completely unconscious. All Might's jaw then immediately drops, and everyone who was watching were extremely shocked that they just saw a kid no bigger than 16 years old disappear, and One for All's body being thrown around in the air with a giant lightning dragon appearing and basically almost killing him. This is when everybody would start cheering for Deku, with people thinking he'll be the next #1 hero. But back to the actual thing. Deku will then appear in front of All Might and then say, "Hey, are you okay, All Might?" And All Might being like, "Yes, thanks to you, young Midori. It seems you surpassed me long ago." This is where Deku just kind of starts smiling, saying, "I couldn't stand to see you destroy yourself, so I jumped in even without a license," and kind of apologized to All Might, with All Might kind of chuckling and being like, "Haha, young man, you don't need that shit." Anyways, the next weeks would be basically people saying that he shouldn't be punished since he took out the strongest villain, and other people being like, "Oh, he should be punished," like all the school members, like Aizawa and all that shit. They're like, "Oh no, like he needs to get like a punishment." This is when Deku will basically end up just getting suspended for a week and doing the work at home and stuff. Also, the dorms will be a thing, and Deku will go to the dorms since, I mean, his mom is not that worried for him since he doesn't have One for All and doesn't tear his body apart every second. She's actually extremely proud of him since he was able to do something that she never thought he would do. Like, as much as she had faith in him, she didn't think she could take out somebody that strong. Anyways, skipping to just a random day. Deku will be chilling by himself in the dorm when Momo will come and sit next to him, and they'll then talk about Deku's fight, and Momo kind of wanted to send a message, if you know what I mean. Anyways, Deku will then be like, "Oh, it's like that," and then grin and say no more. He then practically grab her and teleport to his room, and then he'd that cough was fake in case you can tell. And then he'd proceed to have a very unholy time. After this, they would proceed to basically fall asleep together often, with Momo and Deku sneaking off to each other's rooms and start dating. Sneaking off to each other's room at night, might I mention? Just throwing that out there. Not gonna lie, Uraraku's a bit salty at this, but hey, I mean, what can she do? Anyways, things will keep going on like this for about a month, and they'd be in class one day when they get told about the big three, and everything would go to canon, except Deku would be told that he's probably the only one with experience and with enough experience to be as good as he is now. And Mirio fucking everyone's shit up, and then fighting one-on-one with Deku and the whole class watching. Okay, the match would start, and Mirio would activate One for All and use 45% and try to blitz Deku and use his little move where he tries to poke him in the eye, which Deku dodges and then goes in for a kick, but Mirio goes through Deku and uses his but then Deku uses his Thunder Breath and creates an after image that Mirio thinks it's the real one. Okay, I explained that really bad. So basically, Deku comes in to kick, and Mirio basically has it phase right through him. This is when Deku will then activate his Thunder Breath and go so fast that he creates an after image that Mirio gets tricked by and tries to attack it. And this is when Deku will then get behind him and kick Mirio on the side of the head, sending him flying and crashing into a wall and knocking him out. After this, Mirio would go to Recovery Girl, and Deku would be like, my bad, I think I overdid it a bit. Anyways, Mirio would get better and tell Deku about Sir Nida and how he should go to his agency, with Deku being like, okay, I mean, I might as well. After that, the day would come, and he goes to meet Sir Nida with Mirio, tell him to make him smile and stuff, and Deku being like, oh, okay. Anyways, he'd go in, and Nida wouldn't be on his, oh, Mirio should have had One for All bullshit. Actually take a liking to Deku, since he uses foresight to see that Deku would take the stamp regardless of what he does and just kind of accept him. So Mirio would then tell Deku to put on his costume, and they'd then go around, and everything would be calm until a little girl comes running out of the alley and bumps into Deku. After that, He looks down at her and sees her trembling with bandages and bruises, and he immediately gets pissed and looks into the alley. And this is when he then sees Chisaki, or Overhaul. I'm going to be calling him Chisaki. And then things get back to... And then thinks back to when Sir Night told him about him, and he then looks at Mirio, and Mirio nods his head. This is when Deku looks at Chisaki and says, "Hey, is this your daughter?" And, Overhaul, he's just like, "Yeah, kid, always running away. Sorry for the inconvenience." This is when Deku smiles and says, "Yeah, of course." Then he looks at Eri, and right as Overhaul is about to take his gloves off, Deku then flashes behind him and kicks Chisaki, and Mirio grabs Eri and takes her away. Deku then teleports in front of right at the angle that Chisaki basically had kicked him, right? And he was flying into a wall, but Deku basically moves so fast that he practically teleports right in front of him and kicks him into another wall. And this is when Deku will activate his Thunder Breath technique and flash in front of Chisaki once again before he can even react, and then kick him into the air and then start completely destroying Chisaki. And after every hit he did, he then says, "This is for all the pain you inflicted on that girl," as he then goes crazy and starts going a little too crazy on Chisaki, stepping on air and moving so fast. And before Chisaki even knew it or even felt any pain, Deku had practically almost killed the guy. So this means Mirio doesn't lose his quirk this time, and Eri is saved sooner than in canon. So in this version, the cleanup is different since there was no damage and the rest of the Chisaki game was stopped. After this, they'll have the usual thing that happens with the festival, and this time Deku will go get the extra stuff that he forgot with Momo, and on the way there, they run into the gentle criminal, which Deku slaps and with no contest, and then they're late like in canon because they decided to sneak off to make out for a bit. Anyways, everything else stays the same, and Deku and Mirio basically try to help Eri out, and that's basically it for this. This is the finale. I understand it's kind of short. I mean, you guys might have wanted it to be faster, but who the fuck is gonna step into Deku? Like, this man moves so fast, he practically teleports. With his Thunder Breath, imagine that times 10. With his Lightning Cloak, imagine that times 20. Already times 10, so that's like times 30. And then when he gets pissed off, let's just go ahead, times 2 again. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed it, I hope you guys leave a comment, leave a like, and let me know what you thought of this series. I mean, it's had a great run so far. It's not done yet, and I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it as much as you did. But with that being said, Zether out.